Okay, let's take a couple minutes and analyze running mechanics. When we're doing this, I think it's really easy to do just with a handheld camera. That's what we did here, videotape, and it doesn't have to be a long stride. You don't have to get a long sequence. And then I just put it on loop so we can look at it over and over again. And we'll look at the mechanics, and first thing I like to focus on is what's happening at the ground. How's the foot striking the ground? Because that really influences a lot of the mechanics going north. So just before we get this running, let's just focus a little bit right here. You can see he's definitely going to strike. He's about ready to hit the ground here with his heel. And you look at this leg, it's fairly straight. So when the heel hits the ground, that knee is fairly extended. And the problem that you'll find, especially if you run big distances or any distances really, is that force is going to get transmitted straight up to the low back. So runners that have, beginning runners, people that don't have a lot of experience with running, oftentimes they'll complain of low back pain. And one of the reasons why is that axial load is driving all of that weight and force straight through the leg and into the low back. So shin pain, knee pain, low back pain, really common. One way to correct that is to try to flatten out that foot. The other issue is when he does hit with the heel on the ground, that foot is going to come crashing down. Those toes are going to come crashing down. Puts a tremendous amount of load right on those anterior tibialis muscles that sit in the front of the tibia, the lower leg there. Go for a long run and do that repetitively. That can create an overuse injury, really common shin splints, commonly known as shin splints. Okay, let's run this and we'll look at his foot mechanics as he goes. And we're looking for symmetry. Is he upright? What are his arms doing? Is he bouncing up and down? Is he rotating? Those are the things we'll focus on today. Like I said, I have this on just a loop so we can kind of catch a couple of runs here. So definitely it's got a predominant heel strike on that left. His right, not as bad, and that's not uncommon. We'll see that the symmetry is not so much perfectly symmetric, right? One side does oftentimes what the other doesn't. All right, what's his posture looking like? He's fairly upright, doesn't have too forward of a lean. He's not running that fast either. I think as you get into a faster pace, I think you'll get that forward lean. But for a long, slow jog like this, he wants to have a little tighter posture. I'm gonna pause it right as he's coming, right in there. So the other thing I'm noticing is he definitely has a lot of lateral sway. So meaning when he's on this leg, he's leaning to the left. When he's on this left leg, he tends to lean to the left. Oftentimes that means he's got a little weakness right here on this gluteus medius muscle, which causes his body to shift over to that leg. So one thing I'd have him do is get in the weight room and start trying to strengthen those glute mediuses up. Let's focus on his arms here. Look at what his arms are doing. Again, I'll try to grab a snapshot of it. Yeah, this is hard to do. So that's actually pretty good. You see how that arm is heading towards the midline of his body, and he does have some rotational components. So when you're running straight ahead and you're twisting, you rotate, there's going to be rotation, absolutely. But if I were his coach, I would have his hands go a little bit more forward of his body, like he's pulling a string to pull himself forward, as compared to spending so much energy in that rotation. Same thing as up and down. So you'll look at up and down. You want that head to be fairly fixed, so that all your energy is at the lower extremities moving you forward, and you're not spending a lot of energy jumping up and down, which doesn't get you from point A to point B, or rotating. Right? That all requires energy, and if you're running for a longer distance, that energy is going to get used up. You're going to end up fatiguing sooner. So my analogy is similar to swimming. And how swimmers, if you watch the Olympics, those freestyle swimmers, they just look like a rock skipping across the water. They're just so effortlessly, and they glide really well as compared to like to get into a swimming pool, goof around and do doggy paddle. Tremendous amount of energy, but you're not going very far. You're not going very fast either, and you're spending a ton of energy. So I think one of the efficiency, one of the things about running is that you want to be efficient and economical with your energy. Let's have a so you'll be able to run farther, faster with the same or even less energy. All right, last thing I'm going to point out here, I'll see if I can point out here, is look at his right leg. That's the leg closest to us or the camera. And it just looks like he's got a little bit of a swivel. It doesn't seem like it's as dominant on his left. I can really pick it up right. Oh, I just missed it. I think I just missed it. See it right at the very end of this. It's really pretty dominant on these last steps. Let's see if I can catch it. Oh, I just missed it. You can see how that foot, now we'll just run it through one more time. This foot wants to swing around. Again, that could be for a bunch of different reasons. One, it could be a flexibility or a mobility issue in the hip, which is causing that foot to have to rotate around. It could be a mobility issue in the ankle, not allowing him to pull that foot up to clear the ground space. Could have some weakness in the hip flexor there on the right side, not hiking that hip up to clear the ground. So him circumducting that leg could be a leg length discrepancy, could be a bunch of things, but it would be one of those things that I'd want to look at. I'll do one more run through just so you can get a last look. Call it quits. Right up that last step, right here. There you go. All right, all for now. Looking forward to watching your guys' analysis.